Hi, I'm Brian Samuels and welcome back to another episode of Soul Stirring Astrology, where I give you my textured take on the world of astrology. Well, tomorrow, that's August the 7th, there is a full moon in Aquarius and it's the lunar eclipse. So it's quite a moment for all of us to be reflecting on our past. And so when you're dealing with eclipses, and then the lunar eclipse means that the earth is between the sun and the moon, and so it's blocking out the light, and where light is blocked up, that's an indication that we need to be pulling inwards. And we're dealing with the lunar eclipse, so we're dealing with emotions. So we have the moon in Aquarius. Now it's quite an awkward sign for the moon to be in. The reason being is because Aquarius is associated with the archetypes of being the revolutionary or the scientist. And if you're a revolutionary, here you want to break the limitations within your personal relationships because you want freedom. And if you're the scientist, you're combing over the facts, so you're quite clinical and objective in how you deal with the world. Well, this is actually at odds with what the moon represents, because the moon, which rules Cancer, is the mother, the healer, the nurturer, the nourisher, but it's also reveling in past events, past emotions, so the kind of historical context of past experiences. So they kind of rub up against each other. You've got the moon, which is dealing with this sensitivity and it's dealing with the past, whereas Aquarius is future orientated. So there's difficulty in terms of how you really want to hold on to these feelings, but the lunar eclipse is saying it's time to let go, and it's trying to do it gently because we're dealing with the moon here. But it's this crossroads, and the crossroads has to be dealt with, and the way that you're going to traverse the crossroads is to dig in to your emotions. Now, Aquarius is co-ruled by Saturn, which is the ancient ruler, and Uranus. And fortunately, they are both forming a trine aspect with each other. But let's separate them out for a bit. So where you've got the moon in Aquarius and it's coming up into the world of Saturn, here there's an indication that you want to hold on to these past feelings. There could be a limitation in terms of how you express yourself. Now Saturn in Aquarius, here you want to come across as being the authority figure. But Aquarius is dealing with the group mind, and being around friends and associations. So you could be somebody, when you've got your moon in Aquarius, who's quite reticent or who's quite shy or reserved when you're around friends or in a group, which then makes you feel isolated and alone. Saturn here reinforces that, because if you're isolated, you're not quite sure, you're quite awkward in terms of how you're relating to people, and then one of the ways you may choose to relate is coming across as an authority figure, which could then again alienate people. So the goal here is for you, where you've got this moon in Aquarius and you've got the relationship with Saturn, is for you to show how ordinary you are, so that you're able to connect and relate to other people. Because if you take this stance of being the authority figure, you could come across as being a bit browbeating, and in group situations you're only going to feel more isolated. Now Uranus, as I said, is the ruler, it's the modern ruler of Aquarius, and because it's the trine between Saturn and Uranus, you've got Saturn, which is about its boundaries and limitations, but you've got Uranus here to say, hey, it's time to smash them, break them down, you need to liberate yourself. And here it's about the liberation of your emotions. Now we have the sun, which the moon is opposing the sun, and the sun is in Leo, the sign it rules. So in this equation, the sun is in a far more powerful position. And here the sun is beckoning you to showcase your identity in the most majestic of ways. You know, it's the height of summer, you're beaming away, and so therefore this sense of wanting to keep digging into the past with your moon and wanting to be quite reticent and protective over that, it's been juxtaposed really with this sun that wants you to stand up and be counted and to shine. And if you're able to do that, you're then going to be able to reconcile this moon in Aquarius, which is wanting freedom and liberation, And you've got the Sun in Leo, which is about your unique identity. Now, where you're able to dig into your past emotions, transform them, you can then show up majestically in life, which is a way for you to balance and harmonize Uranus and Aquarius and Saturn in the Aquarian angle, and then you've got the Sun in Leo. The Sun is also being supported because it's forming a sextile with Jupiter. So Jupiter is showing up, so whatever Jupiter touches, Jupiter is about expansion. So here the Sun, the identity, your conscious identity is being expanded, it's being illuminated, and there's this great sense of you feeling fulfilled and going out and achieving what you want because of the vast array of opportunities that's presented to you. You also have the Moon, and the Moon is trining Jupiter. Here again, it's this wonderful marrying of your inner world. There's harmony with your inner world, but also with your philosophical mind. And so the work that you do in letting go of those past emotions is only going to bring you more richness and opportunities in your life. So it's really powerful. You also have the Sun, and the Sun is conjuncting Mars. So here it's a sense of being about your conscious identity. You're really proud, you're really strong about that because you've got the Sun in Leo. And Leo is saying live lovingly from your heart, give from your heart. It's combined with Mars, and Mars is conjunct the Sun in Leo, so it's about, you know, this kind of sense of fierce pride, competition, a real solid confidence in terms of who you are. But you need to be mindful that you're not coming across as being a bit bullish or overpowering or aggressive. But it is a good signature in terms of going for what it is that you actually want. This is backed up with Jupiter squaring Pluto. So here's another indication of really going for your dreams, you know, going for that, the ideal life that you've been thinking of, dreaming of. The square between Jupiter and Pluto enables you to do this, but you must not act in a way that is unscrupulous, because as much as you're pursuing this wonderful dream, you could come up against conflict. And then it makes you think about, are you somebody who's always in pursuit of something? And if you are, does that cost you your personal fulfillment? Because if we're digging into the emotions and if we're liberating ourselves from past ways of doing things, then you need to kind of check whether this is something that you ordinarily do. So with this lunar eclipse, and it's in Aquarius, there is this sense of uniqueness, but you've got to dig into the emotions, you've got to dig into the feelings. Now we're dealing with the Moon, so it's hidden, it's about your unconscious identity, and now is a time for you to become more conscious of the ways in which you limit yourself. How do your emotions get in the way of you relating to people who you know well, but also to other people? Because you've got the Moon in Aquarius, and the Moon in Aquarius is about being far more objective, a bit more impersonal, but it's bringing you into contact with the collective. And so with this lunar eclipse, how comfortable are you able to emote with people who you don't necessarily know, but actually in sharing who you are then able to connect with a far wider range of people. And if you think about Aquarius, it's about the collective. It's about finding ways where you can harmonize with other people. Because if you hold on to the Saturn part of where Saturn is the co-ruler of Aquarius, there's always going to be this reticence. There's always this sense that you are building up barriers around you. Whereas, because it's forming the trine with Uranus, it's about breaking free from your personal limitations. Which brings me to the quote of the day, and it's by Danielle Laporte, and she said, "Do not let your past life experiences hold you back from the future that is awaiting you." And this reminds me of, I went to Barack Obama's first inauguration, which is just one of those experiences, life-changing experiences, which is beyond words. But there's something from his inaugural speech, and what he said is this: as scripture says, there comes a time to put childish things away. And so the question of the day is, what childish behaviour do you need to let go of? What is this repressive aspect of you that you know is there because you're repressing it, so there's a consciousness about it? And how are you able to release this repressive behaviour so that you're able to shine in the unique way that this opposition between the moon in Aquarius and the sun in Leo is beckoning you to do? And then it all ties into the North Node, which is equally in Leo. And so for the next 18 months, we're all being called to stand up, straighten our back, and step forward into the powerful light and life that's awaiting you. So there you go, beautiful people. Put your comments or questions or queries in the comment box below. You know, I always love to connect with you. Thank you to everybody who reaches out. I love having conversations with you, and it's wonderful actually when I'm literally just walking down the street and I get stopped and people say, "Are you by Breen Samuels?" And I'm like, "Yes," and I'm being told that, you know, they really enjoy my episodes, which is really humbling, and it's a bit weird at the same time. But I love to share astrology with you because, as you know, my mission is to help you to live an authentic and soulful life. So feel free to subscribe to the channel, share this with anybody else in your network who you think could benefit from it. And you know, if you're looking for a personal reading with me, drop me an email at bybreensamuels@googlemail.com. A number of you have been emailing me with questions or queries that are specific to your chart, which moves beyond the kind of general things that I talk about. Anything that pertains to your chart that you're interested in finding out answers to, I have a range of services I could offer you. That could start with a one question email response that I could give you. So if anything to do with your personal chart that takes you beyond what it is that I'm sharing with you, I'm happy to consult with you, and I can start at the level of, if you've got one question, I can provide a service whereby you will get an email response, and that one question service starts at £30 per question. So there you have it. So enjoy this full moon in Aquarius. It's tomorrow and we're in the height of summer, so do enjoy. Until the next episode, stay well, beautiful people, and I will see you again soon. Bye.